Welcome back to Tip of the Spear, where we talk about all things Wetumpka athletics. I'm your host, Chandler Ward, and with me today is my co-host, Noah Britt. Kicking the week off strong, Chris Robinson has been named First Community Bank's Player of the Week. Robinson's latest performances against Percy Julian and Stanhope consisted of him leading the team in assists and helping the team secure the dub.
Yeah, following Chris Robinson, we've got Lexi Smith. Smith, over the Christmas break, received an offer from Calhoun Community College for softball, and they are looking to recruit her after her senior season. But she is in her junior year right now, and she has a whole lot more opportunities for her, and she's going to have way more great performances down the line.
Absolutely, Noah. With Lexi Smith being a multi-sport athlete with softball and basketball, not only is she probably going to get more offers, but she's going to have some great performances out there. But since we're on the topic of basketball, I'd like to take a step into that and talk about the latest games against Park Crossing. So the Wetumpka boys team lost against Park Crossing last night, 65-55. So not too bad of a differential there. The girls team, on the other hand, lost to Park Crossing 73-43. So that's going to put the boys at a 14-7 record and the girls at a 14-6. The girls, currently on a 2-loss streak, are kind of wrapping up the season as well as the boys. So the girls not doing the best currently, but with how good they've been playing throughout the entire season, I'm in no doubt that they're going to step up their game getting ready for the playoffs.
One problem that's been kind of like pointed out for both teams in the Park Crossing game especially, there wasn't a lot of consistency through and through first quarter all the way to the end of the game. Especially for the boys in the third quarter, we only scored 3 points, and that's not an ideal number of points you want to score in a quarter. But we kind of came back in that fourth quarter scoring around 20 points, but it wasn't enough. We need defensive consistency.
Absolutely. No, when you play a team like Park Crossing, especially when you're on an off night, I talked to a couple of the players today, and a lot of them said that they were just kind of off. It wasn't the best game for the boys. But when you play a team like Park Crossing, who is a playoff contender, and you're an area play, you've got a lot of stress on you. Now, the boys kept up with Park Crossing going into the half with 33 points on the board, but like you said, they could only get 3 in the third quarter. But to bounce back from that, something I really did like to see was that they didn't give up. They didn't want to end it right there. They scored 19 points in the fourth quarter and held Park Crossing to only 8. So if Park Crossing didn't score at all, they only would have lost by 2. So if you're asking me, the boys did a really good job of containing the game completely.
Yeah, and one of those key players for the boys team is Caleb Ballard, and he leads this boys basketball team in multiple stats: points per game, field goal percentage, rebounds per game, and blocks per game. He actually has 16 double-doubles this season so far. And he is first in the state of Alabama for double-doubles. And a really great stat is that he is 5th in the nation for double-doubles. That's just great to see for a Wetumpka player especially. He's only a sophomore. He has plenty of years left in his high school career, so he's definitely going to be a key player for this team.
Absolutely. A player like that is someone you want to keep around for sure, especially since he came in this year. Now, Caleb Ballard, like you said, he's only a sophomore. He's got a great big time, and I think he is going to leave a big footprint on this Wetumpka basketball team. But following Caleb Ballard, I'd like to take a look at Jordan Hill. I think Jordan Hill is a great MVP. Although he isn't the greatest offensively and he doesn't get too many minutes, when he's out there, he's a defensive demon.
Yes, most definitely.
He is somebody that you should be absolutely afraid of when you're man-to-man with him. I've watched it firsthand. Jordan Hill, he does not let you get past him easily, and he will run you off the court.
Yeah, he will. Now, focusing on the women's side of things, Aaliyah Humphrey, she's a very offensive player, in my opinion. She leads the women's team in points per game and assists per game. She's really an all-around offensive player. Now, her defense is really good, too, and her 3 points are really good also. Her percentage at 3 is a little rocky on some games, but when she's on her A game, she makes almost every 3 she puts up.
Absolutely. Aaliyah Humphrey is someone you want to look to, like you said, she may not be the greatest at that 3-point percentage, but you've got players like Maya Richardson. Maya Richardson, 9th grade freshman who plays on varsity. She is a great 3-point shooter. Always someone you can look to. She's on the wing. She's in the corner. Take a shot at her because most of the time it's going in. Now, for the girls, for me, I'm thinking of more of Layla Culpepper. The opposite of Aaliyah Humphrey, if you ask me. Arguably the best defensive player on the girls' team, Layla Culpepper is just like Jordan Hill, a demon on defense.
Yeah.
Layla Culpepper always stealing the ball, just making sure her team hustles. She's good with that chemistry. She's good with that consistency, like we said earlier. Now, if I were to pick a player as like best defense, it'd definitely be Layla. She's just someone that you want to have on the team all the time.
Yeah, all these players that we have mentioned so far have all built to a strong team chemistry. And we've talked about consistency earlier. Consistency and team chemistry correlate strongly with each other. If you don't have those two things on the basketball court, you're not going to succeed.
No doubt about that. You know, you've got a lot of good players that bring that chemistry. I know last week we mentioned Logan Banks. I know you weren't here for that, but Logan Banks is one of those players that brings in that team chemistry. She's missed a couple of games this season, and it's kind of brought that girls' team down. That's why they've got those 6 losses, is because without Logan Banks, you don't have a big, or at least one of your bigs, but you also don't have the chemistry.
Yeah.
Logan Banks and Aaliyah Humphrey have been playing together since 8th grade. They have that chemistry. Aaliyah Humphrey knows when to give her the ball, when to not, and it's just one thing that you've got to count on. So without her there, it's a little rough, but she's back, and she's better than ever. Now, I agree with the chemistry thing for the boys as well. You've got players like Andrew Voiles, Chris Robinson, Caleb Ballard, Miller Lombardi, heck, the whole team.
Yeah.
Even the bench players, when they're playing, they have that chemistry. The boys' team has definitely been built up by Coach Stephen Thomas. He has just definitely been working on it, because if you're not going to be treating your teammate like a brother, then you shouldn't be his teammate, if you ask me.
Yeah. Things that both teams can work on, women's and the boys, are beyond the arc shots. I've talked about it earlier with Aaliyah Humphrey. We need to get above 50% on the three-point shots that we can make. It sets our offense up, in my opinion. It sets our offense up very clearly. And we can get some of those 3 points off of screens. We can get wide open screen off of them. So we just need to improve on that.
Yeah, we really do. You know, 3-point shots are very vital for a game winning. You know, a game winning 3-point shot is something we like to see. Doesn't happen often, obviously. That's very hard to pull off. But like you said with screens, you know, you can always say, what if this, what if that? Because, like, any player could do that. Anyone could do that. What if Caleb Ballard got that rebound? That could have won the game, you know? But what if we had 50% from beyond the arc?
Yeah.
If both teams stepped up like that, you know, Maya Richardson and Aaliyah Humphrey carrying that 3-point shot, if they had players like Layla Culpepper and Lexi Smith step up just a little bit more on that 3-point, they could easily do that.
Yeah.
They could easily be blowing teams out with their 3-point games.
And we've been doing good in the paint, especially with Caleb Ballard. He's been averaging a lot of rebounds lately. He is the rebound machine of this Wetumpka boys basketball team. So we have the paint set. We have it captured.
Absolutely. Well, both the boys and the girls team have a game coming up against Stanhope at home. So make sure you show up for that. I know the Wetumpka students definitely do. They recently showed up last Friday to Stanhope. Pretty much the whole baseball and football team combined were there to show their support. So not only should the students, but also fans at home show your support to the Indians. But I think that's enough talk about basketball currently. And I would like to bring on our special guest, varsity dance captain, Janie Bess Caton.
Thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. Now, we kind of want to ask you a couple questions about your sport. So for starters, I want to know a little bit about last year's Nationals performance. I know y'all placed 8th in the nation, so what do you think about that?
Well, last year we learned our choreography in late October, and we felt very confident because it was something we never did before. We'd never performed a jazz before. Me, Brooke Smith, and Emery Hand were the only returners last year, so we were a little bit nervous. But whenever we realized that we were moving on to finals, we got real confident that we could probably place.
I know there are many different styles in dance, but what styles are y'all competing in this season?
So in dance, usually at Nationals, there's game day, kick, hip-hop, pom, and jazz. We will be competing in pom, which is more of a school-spirited routine, and then a jazz, which is more of like an emotional routine.
Very exciting here. I'm interested to see what y'all have in store for us. Now, one big question I have to ask is, I've noticed on Instagram that all of the dancers have changed their profile pictures to like a red sparkly hat. Now, from what I've heard, that means like a little bit of a hint of your nationals performance. Now, any way you could give us a hint, like tell us a little bit about that?
Well, this Friday we will be competing or showing our pom at the Stanhope basketball game. So you'll just have to come and watch our pom routine, and then maybe you'll just have to wait till nationals to see our Jazz to understand.
Well, a little bit of a cliffhanger there, but that's all right. We thank you for coming and just letting us know a little bit more about dance and your sport, Janie Bess. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Now, that's going to wrap up this week's episode of Tip of the Spear. You can always come watch us on YouTube, Wetumpka High TV. If not, you can go check out our brand new Instagram, we2_spear25. So please go follow that Instagram, and we plan to just make some more. Maybe a TikTok, maybe another YouTube account. I guess you'll just have to wait and see. But once again, thank you for watching this week's episode, and as always, win the moment, Wetumpka.